Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Welcome to our Sixers versus Nets post-game show. The Sixers got the L tonight, 112-94, a depleted Sixers roster. Today, we're going to talk about our top takeaways. We'll do some grades, and we'll talk about what this game means for the Sixers moving forward. Joining us tonight is my man, Justin. He was with us tonight during the entire watch party. Follow him on Twitter at J_Persichetti. What's going on, Justin?
This game sucked, but we're going to talk about it. That's what's going on. The game was terrible. It was a hard-to-watch game. We sat through it, though. Everyone who stuck with us, we appreciate you for sticking with us throughout this game.
Amen.
Hard to watch, but we're still here.
All right, let's break it down. Also joining us is my man Tiago. Puts out so much amazing NBA content and Sixers content over at thepaintlines.com. Please be sure to check out all of his latest articles at thepaintlines.com. Follow my man Tiago on Twitter at tscabia. Tiago, what's up?
Yeah, man. This is game 2 of the COVID Sixers version, and I'm ready to end, man. Like, if it's not Maxey doing his own little thing there, it's just like, God, make this day end right now. So tonight was like, the breaking point for me. So hopefully things start going back to normal here.
Yeah, let's talk about our top takeaways. And it really starts with that second and third quarter. The Sixers were outscored 69-33 between the second and third quarters and just were unhinged. After, I think, a promising first quarter where you could maybe say, like, maybe the Sixers offense can keep it up with the Atlanta Hawks. But no, it just completely fell apart, especially defensively. The Sixers couldn't keep up. And here we are. So my takeaway I have, and this goes back to my player of the game, was Danny Green. This guy shot 0 for 9 from the field, had 2 points in 28 minutes. I went out on a limb hoping that this guy was finally going to step up because the Sixers, you knew the pace was going to be down. You knew the Hawks would be double teaming Embiid, and you just had to have a guy step up on the perimeter and make shots. Danny Green shot 0 of 7 from three-point range. That's not good enough. We talked about Danny Green ad nauseum. I actually thought he's been shooting the ball well before these last 2 games and looking better and better. We know the defense has been okay as long as the Sixers have been healthy. But Danny Green, man, major letdown. Justin, what was one of your takeaways?
So many takeaways. So many. I think the biggest thing is just the inconsistency of shooting. I mean, obviously it's hard to be consistent when you consistently don't have the players you need out there. But I think, like you said, Danny Green's play was inexcusable. He's missing open looks. Sure, you can make the excuse that there's not the normal team's not out there. You can make the excuse that maybe the spacing is a little different. Maybe he's shooting from different spots.
Whoops. My bad.
But I don't think you can make the excuse enough to actually excuse him from how bad he's been playing. I'm going to say one good thing, though. I want to keep it as light as I can. Tyrese Maxey, although he did not play, he didn't play as good as he did the other day. He had a good decent game. He did. He scored 15 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 50% from the field, 2 blocks. I don't know.
Yep. I mean, if there's one takeaway is that Tyrese Maxey deserves more playing time as the season progresses. What about you, Tiago? What's the takeaway?
Yeah, with Maxey, when you draw Trae Young, you have to really be aware of what Trae likes to do, which is get on your body, draw contact, and get to the line. And through the first 12 minutes, Trae had 0 free throw attempts. So that speaks to the growth that we're seeing with Tyrese. Defensively, he has been really good these last 3 or 4 games. And I thought he was great again tonight. I mean, he had the couple blocks on Trae. He was well connected with him for most of the game. So, you're seeing the growth with Maxey on the defensive end, which is super exciting because it's very easy to look at the box score and see him offensively and be like, wow, this guy has it. So again, defensively, I thought he was really, really good. With Danny Green, we'd like to think, it's the regression of the 3-point shooting. It's hot and cold, but it's tough to watch Danny Green and not see a guy who might be a little bit washed. his legs are just not there, like at all. So, when I watch him chase guys off screens and do those kinds of things, it's clearly something is missing there. So hopefully they get to, to some older version of Danny Green here soon. But if that's the guy they're going to get into the playoffs with, I don't know, man. Like they should probably look into how they can upgrade that position a little bit. So yeah, those are the main two takeaways. Just the other thing was with, Joel did his thing in the first quarter, right? So he had 16 points. He got to the line like 100 times. Like Atlanta had no answers. But the second quarter, all Atlanta did was they just packed the paint. They were throwing like 3 guys on Joel even before the ball was in half court. So it made it really hard for Embiid to do anything else other than pass the ball. And then he tried to face up and then drive, and it resulted in a couple of turnovers. But if you don't have shooters on the court, man, like it's just not going to happen. And that's what happened in the second quarter. And then it was like make him pass at all costs. So yeah, it was not going to happen tonight at all.
I think something that's important to talk about too is we can trash on Danny Green, but I think it's important to trash on Mike Scott too. Listen. If we're honest here, Mike Scott went 1 for 7. He also went 0 for 5 for 3. And we talked about this a little bit during the watch party in general, but I don't remember the last time Mike Scott was good for this team.
He hasn't been good for about 1.5 to 2 years now, and he's taken up cap money, cap space, and he's adding no offensive value to your team. So you watch a guy like Isaiah Joe tonight, he's going to make a million mistakes. But you watch that shot. It's straight. It's smooth. He's playing with confidence. Give the kid a chance. Give him some of those Scott's minutes and see what he has, man. Because the guy's playing well. Like offensively, he's been shooting the ball really well these last 2 nights. So I would be very inclined to go that route. But Scott has that bond with Doc, and Doc's really trying to get him going. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it with Scott. I think his time here is up, and they should look at a different way, different turn.
Let's think about this. You have $20 million in cap space going to Danny Green and Mike Scott together. $15 million going to Danny Green, $5 million to Mike Scott. It's nice to think of the fact that, like, realistically, like neither of them are going to be around much longer. I'm pretty sure both of them are on expiring contracts, if I'm not mistaken. Mike Scott is going to be an undrafted free, Yep. And so they're both going to be gone by this time next year, but I think that's like why you kind of need to capitalize on them right now with like the fact that Danny Green's making $15 million. If this is going to be the consistent Danny Green you get throughout the season, I think you need to find a way to get him off the books. But
yeah,
I don't know.
That will be a time for that. I think we're gonna, when we get close to the trade deadline, I am pretty sure Morey's going to look at this roster and say, listen, we have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. One of these guys may have to go, or both of them, as like a salary match or whatever. So, yeah.
And I do want to be clear. None of us on this channel want to see that, and none of us are here to be like knee-jerk reaction type people. But this to me isn't necessarily a knee-jerk reaction. This is something that you've seen for the past 2 years with both of these guys. You've seen both regression in Danny Green when he was with the Lakers, I guess not the year before that, but Danny Green with the Lakers obviously was not shooting as well as he had been in years past, and same with Mike Scott. Mike Scott hasn't been shooting well for the past 2 years either. So it's just this isn't just a knee-jerk reaction. This is after seeing a consistent basis of regression from these two players.
Yep.
So, Tiago, where are you at with Tyrese Maxey? Should he start? Should he come off the bench? What is your take with that? Like, you look at Danny Green's just regression in the catch and shoot, 34% from 3 on the season. It's going to go down after tonight big time. But where are you at? Like, if Danny Green's not giving you solid defense or catch and shoot threes, why can't you throw Tyrese Maxey in there? Because he's going to give you – he can defend multiple positions. He can defend the pick and roll. Like, where are you with that? Because that's a big topic of conversation.
Yeah, I want to make it clear because there's a fraction of the Sixers fan base who wants Maxey to start over Ben Simmons. And I think those people need help.
I'm not saying that.
They need help and need to go outside and breathe some fresh air, because when you get down to that point, you just lost the plot, man. You just lost the plot. I think that there is a case to be made about Shake Milton starting over Tyrese Maxey. I think that's something they should explore very, very closely. I think that Milton gives you that shooting element that you need around Ben and Joel. I think Maxey's shot, it's coming around. You guys see it. It's looked much better in the last couple of weeks, but teams are going to play off of him until he shows the consistency from the outside, which he has not yet, which is fine. It's part of his growth curve here. But I think Shake has done a really good job so far this season offensively. Again, we talked about this in the past, working off the pick and roll, spotting shooters on the corners, and playing really good defense. So there's enough evidence out there. I don't have the lineup numbers in front of me, but the Sixers lineup with Shake over Green is one of the top offensive lineups in basketball, against small sample size. But there's evidence there that the lineup works. So if they do decide to move away from Danny Green as a starter, the name that comes to mind is Shake. And I think that there is a path for him to get into that starting lineup and I think it makes sense in the regular season. Like, give Danny Green time to rest his legs, man. Like, give him 15, 20 minutes a night. Have Shake as a young guy who you want to see what he has. Go out there and play, man. Like, there's no reason why Danny Green should be playing 30 minutes a game when everybody's back playing. So I would look to go that path.
All right, let's go into player of the game. Justin, who is your player of the game today?
I mean, I'm going to say Tyrese Maxey. I don't think there really is a player of the game necessarily for the Sixers. If you want a player of the game really for this game, it's going to be Trae Young. Trae Young ultimately had a pretty good game besides the first quarter. But player of the game for the Sixers, I would say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go Isaiah Joe.
Nice.
6 for 9 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3. Like, had a good game. But, I mean, realistically, I don't think you can have a good game at all in like team-wise when you score 94 points and play terrible defense and just bad.
I was going to go Isaiah Joe just to piggyback off of you. Like, this is a guy who was shooting 3 of 16 from 3 the first part of the season until tonight. So it was really good to see this guy find his stroke again. 4 of 7 from 3 tonight, 18 points in 28 minutes. What does it mean? Probably nothing. But Isaiah Joe, going to go Isaiah Joe. What about you, Tiago?
Yeah, I would go Joe too. And I would be interested to ask Doc, why does he feel like he needs to play Dakota Mathias over Joe? Like, Dakota had 39 minutes, which is insane. I mean, when you play Dakota Mathias 39 minutes, you might as well just turn off the TV. 28 minutes for Joe. So I don't understand like what he sees in Mathias. I mean, he's obviously can shoot.
Catch and shoot.
I don't think it's anything that he sees necessarily. I think it's more just like, okay, Dakota's been showing more consistent offense than anybody else on the wing as of right now. So I think he's just going with the guy who's been a little bit hot. I did want to share this though. Doc Rivers on positives from we got out of there healthy, and we probably get to see the second half of the Alabama game. So,
man.
I gotta love that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That should just show the way Doc sees this and how he's obviously still unhappy with like the fact that they even have to play these games. So that's what you gotta love that on Doc. He's got that sense of humor. He understands how the fans feel, and he feels the same way. He gets it.
I will say this though, like I wish he took a harder stance on what Adam Silver's making the Sixers do, because it's a flat out embarrassment.
Thank you.
The Sixers do. The Sixers had to dress an injured player last game to field enough players to play.
Speaking of harder stance, hold on.
There's somebody. There's another quote.
Tiago, I went on a little spiel during our pregame about this.
Did you really? Yeah.
Doc Rivers was adamant that he and his team were not happy about having to play on Saturday. Says he really only had 7 guys. We don't really understand why we played that game, but listen, I'm just the coach, Rivers said. So, I mean,
but here's the thing, like it should not be on the players to make the decisions, right? So when Ben Simmons says there's no way in hell I'm playing because I don't want to risk my health over this, it looks bad on Ben. It doesn't look bad on Adam Silver. People are out here questioning Ben, his commitment to the team, his commitment as a member of the organization. And Doc should stand up. And I'm not saying Doc is not doing that, because I think Doc is a guy, as a player's coach, but Doc should take a stand and push back on what the league is doing, because the fact of the matter is, like, this decision is absolutely asinine. Like, having the players make these decisions is absolutely absurd. So I do wish he pushed back a little bit on the league, just to protect his players a little bit more, because it looks bad on Ben when he doesn't play. And Ben has all the right not to do that, because it's a freaking pandemic, man. Like,
it's only going to get worse, because they have 3 more back-to-backs over the next 3 weeks. So they're going to be living through this hell for the foreseeable future with a limited roster, if this is the way it goes, or if there's no pause of the season. Let's go into team grades. Justin, how would you grade tonight's performance?
To get the Russian alphabet out.
So let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you a question to the question you're saying. Are we grading the league's performance, or are we grading the Sixers' performance? Because I think the league is performing terribly, which is making the Sixers perform terribly.
Right.
So I'm going to give the Sixers organization a solid C-, because they're being smart and making up injuries for Ben Simmons, so he doesn't have to be hurt so he doesn't have to hurt himself out on the court. Realistically, I don't even know how to grade this game. It's like Dives has been saying this whole entire game. There's nothing to take from these games. Like, I can't sit here and say, like, oh my God, this is a C, and like give the legitimate reasons why this is a C, and like they played like shit because they don't have the good players out on the court.
Yeah,
this is a straight F, and I'm gonna give an F to the NBA as well, because it is pathetic that the Sixers are having to go through with this. There's no accountability on the NBA. What was that? Chris Haynes came out with the tweet that Ben Simmons is getting fined. The NBA should be fined for putting the Sixers through this dreck of having nobody on the roster. The Sixers are being targeted by the NBA. It's pathetic, and that there's nowhere else you can look at it other than that. And here we are. It just felt like yesterday we were talking about how great the Sixers second unit looked, how the spacing with Seth Curry and Ben and Joel looked, and here we are. Just a short week later, now we're dealing with the COVID-19 and its consequences, and it's just brutal. It's brutal to watch, and that I'm giving it an F because the NBA has shat on the Sixers, and it is causing them to lose. It's risking injury. It's risking many more things, and I'm calling you out, Adam Silver, because this is pathetic.
Guys, if you want Adam Silver to see this, by the way, make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Tweet the NBA.
At the NBA this video, maybe we can get them to see this.
Yeah. Well said, Chris. And in the meantime, Boston's getting games postponed. Dallas is getting games postponed. Miami's getting games postponed.
I can't even tell you how pissed off I was yesterday when I saw that they postponed a game. Like, literally, like, it pisses me off. Like, dude,
this is what I mean, man. You gotta speak up. You gotta speak up. I'm glad that Doc, is taking the stand, but you gotta speak up, man. This isn't right, and this is taking away the Sixers momentum from early in the year and risking the health of players. Is the most important thing. So.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey. Like, could you imagine if something were to happen? Like, we were talking about it during the second half. Like, just get him off the court. Like, there's no point in playing right now. Get him off the court. Keep him fresh. Do not get hurt during this meaningless crap basketball game. So let's go on to plugs. Justin, what do you want to plug?
If you want, go follow me on Twitter at @J_Persichetti. I promise I'm normally a lot more upbeat than this. I'm normally a lot more excited than this, but this game just took the energy out of me. If you want to go follow good NBA content, good NFL, MLB, you name it, anything you like, I like, if you're watching this right now. So go follow me there. Go follow the Painted Lines on Twitter and Instagram. I help out with those social media accounts a good amount. I'm not going to steal too much from Chris today. I always do that, but go follow, go subscribe.
What about you, Tiago?
Yeah. I put out a piece on why I think Embiid is the defensive player of the year. So check that out. There's a lot of good stats there that back up the claim. Sorry, Rudy Gobert, your time is up. And then Zach LaVine, man, like Zach LaVine is really coming around as a big time player, man. If you guys want to understand what has changed about his game, make sure to check that out.
Awesome. So thank you everybody here for watching. Please be sure to like, please be sure to comment and subscribe like you guys have been commenting. Thank you everybody here. You guys are the best. Tomorrow afternoon, we will have a Flyered Up podcast previewing the Flyers season as they get ready to take on the Penguins on Wednesday night. Then we've got multiple shows, things that I can't announce yet, but then I just want to say thank you, everyone here, for subscribing. Make sure you follow my man Tiago on Twitter at tscabby. Follow my man Justin at J_Persichetti. For myself, for Justin, for Tiago. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
Peace.